to the black one they had previously, and if I bet if you squint your eyes, it might look like there's just sort of a floating Oppo logo there. Nothing else really exciting on the box. We got some specs and that kind of business, but come on, it's a video. You don't want to have to read. That's why you're watching video. I will go ahead and open this sucker up, and I will use my good old friend, Senior Stabby, to cut this plastic. Even though it's unnecessary because I got little holes to tear it, I'm more about the shred than I am the tear. I'll go ahead and open this sucker up. Boom. A little bit of action here, boom. I gotta say, I've been doing this for years. I still love opening up plastic and opening up something new. Probably says a lot about my instant gratification. Here is the box, made of plastic, not cardboard like you might be thinking. Go ahead and open this up. Haha! Hello, R5. Sitting there in your white color, looking all nice and sexy and flush. I'll go ahead and pull this out. And that is a very thin phone. I'll push it off to the side for a real quick second. See what else we're going to have inside of this R5 box. Because you forgot what phone you bought. It's got the R5 emblazoned there on the side. We've got a SIM removal tool. We have a power adapter, but if you're in the US, probably not going to want to use that one. We've got some headphones in here as well. I'm going to get that out. Come here, headphones. That's kind of interesting. For the headphones, you've got a micro USB to 3.5 millimeter headset adapter. We'll see if the phone itself has a 3.5 millimeter headset jack. I'm inclined to think maybe it does not. Underneath your SIM removal tool, we've got, look at that, it's a case. It's kind of nice to see. This reminds me of the old BlackBerry days when you got a nice case. So if you like those sort of big view cases in the folio style, you might be pretty happy to have that included in the box, and it's color matched. Then you've got just your charge and sync cable. Nothing overly exciting. You probably got like 80 of those laying around. Let's take a look at the very diminutive R5. I'm going to go ahead and peel off plastic, which is still my favorite part of reviews. Oh, that whooshy noise was so satisfying. Is there more on the back? That's the only whooshy noise I get. I will say on first blush, this thing feels really thin and extremely premium. All of Oppo's recent devices have felt really nice. So if you're looking for a super thin device, stick around. Let's go ahead and power this guy on and walk through all the specs. All right, so we've got this svelte little beauty all powered up and ready to go. And before I run into the specs, this phone is making me feel like a hypocrite. I just filmed a video a few days ago saying how I really wanted phones to be a little bit thicker and better battery life. And then I held this thing and I'm just like, oh, it's so pretty. So incredibly thin at 4.88 millimeters. I mean, it is a teeny tiny little phone. Okay, so I'm gushing aside. Let's go ahead and look at the specs. You are looking at a 5.2-inch screen, 1920 by 1080. Powering this guy is not one, but two quad-core processors, meaning you got octa-cores going on in this guy. On the back, you've got a non-rotating and swivelly like the N3 camera. It's a 13-megapixel camera that can shoot 1080p at 60 frames per second. You've got a standard 5-megapixel camera on the front for taking all your selfies. 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of internal storage, but no external storage here. It's running Color OS, which is based off Android 4.4.4. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Gorilla Glass 3 is covering this thing. It's got a non-removable 2,000 milliamp hour battery. So if you're like me and you're saying, wait a second, non-removable battery, doesn't have expandable storage, and in a minute I'm going to tell you it doesn't have a 3.5 millimeter headset jack, you're going to be like, John, come on, why? And then I do this, and you're like, oh, where'd the phone go? And then you can probably appreciate as to why it doesn't have those things. I would wager a 3.5 millimeter headset jack is actually thicker than the width of the phone. All right, so quick tour. We've got so much going on the left-hand side, just your SIM tray. There's really nothing there. It's boring side. Right-hand side, a little more action. Volume up and down, power and lock button. On the top, nothing except for some antenna bands. And there you've got a multi-port, which is not just for charging and syncing anymore, it's also for plugging in your headphones. So don't lose that little adapter that came in the box. It's a noise-canceling microphones there. Let's take a quick look at Color OS. One thing you're going to notice is missing here is an app drawer. All of your apps will live on your home screen, either as icons or in folders, depending on how you like to organize yourself. Still, again, based on Android, so you get all the Google services, and you also get access to Google Play, so yay for that. Pull down looks pretty simple in standard Android. It almost looks like they took some cues from Amazon's Fire OS and some of the native stuff that now comes in Lollipop here. Off to the side, you can see some of the cool animations they've done to sort of play your music. I'll go ahead and go back before that starts blaring at us. Go back home. You can also do full themes. There's a theme store here if you want to go in and sort of theme your device to sort of make it look however you like. You can see there's a ton of options that are available. If you do a long press, you get a very nice screen that gets you to widgets, wallpaper, effects, or themes. You can sort of choose where you want to go. Navigating around, though, is sort of still typical Android. You can move your widgets around depending on where you want to go, or resize them if that's what you'd like to do. You can also adjust your bar across the bottom to keep whatever icons you want. Quick and easy to be accessed. As a geek, I always like to do this. I found this kind of fun. You go to the bottom in settings, about phones, so you see it's based on Android 4.4.4. Usually if you tap that, you get a little Kit Kat thing that pops up, or if you're on the lollipop, you get a lollipop that pops up. Don't get anything here. Maybe a little sad. But you can't see color OS. You can see the version number, model number, processor, 8 core at 1.5 gigahertz. Again, 2 gigs of RAM, the rest of the stuff that we chatted about. An incredibly thin phone. Let me bring in, I guess it's big brother, the N3. So you can see what those two look like side by side. I mean, this thing just looks like it doesn't even exist next to the N3, which has, amongst other things, that swivelly camera and a fingerprint sensor on the back. Going all the way around the device, you've got a really nice feeling metal band. The phone feels thin without feeling sort of flimsy or diminutive, or like it feels too thin to hold. It really feels nice and almost just it disappears in your pocket. This has been a first look at the Oppo R5. It is available now, but of course check for pricing because that changes every day. So I usually don't talk too much about pricing in the videos. Anyways, anything else you want to see on the device, let us know. Until next time, I'm John Ranger from Techno Buffalo. See you guys next video. Bye. Thank you guys for watching another Techno Buffalo video. I hope you enjoyed. We love consumer electronics here, and if you are as passionate about them as we are, hit the big subscribe button. We've got new videos coming at you every day. We talk about phones, tablets, laptops, and everything in between. And if you like video games, check us out at Twitch, where we play video games, although admittedly not very well, at twitch.tv/technobuffalo. All the links are right down below.